I mean, we're still basking in the euphoria.
Of course, yes. While others were, on the public holiday yesterday. I know you guys were here. So I wish you guys happy Workers' Day because you are doing a fantastic job also.
Thank you so much for that. And so yesterday, just, in the spirit of that, yesterday, the NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, in fact, the Joint Labour, so to speak, they made fresh demands, to the federal government yesterday, asking for things. According to them, I mean, the list is about 20 points long, but there are some germane ones. There are some key demands that we'll be talking about in the course of the show today. So on this topic, NLC makes fresh demands. We'll be talking about some of the demands that they made. And let's check it out right here. And some of the first that we'll be reviewing this morning, the size review of minimum wage. The NLC is calling for an upward review of the minimum wage, citing the current economic situation and rising inflation. It's quite long, but we'll shorten that. An extension of retirement age. And then the other one is improved workers' welfare. And then the other point right there, just the last one, addressing economic hardship. Those are the key demands that it made yesterday at, to the federal government during the celebrations of the Workers' Day. And that's why, that's where our conversation will be focused today. All right. Let's just begin with this. What exactly is supposed to be the significance of Workers' Day celebration? I mean, there were several countries with huge workforce that did not join, in the celebration or in declaring, public holiday. The United States was one of them, and some other, big states like that. So what's supposed to be the significance of Workers' Day celebration?
Well, in this part of the world, we try as much as possible to overemphasize some things that, yes, is it good to celebrate the workers? Absolutely correct. But, some ridiculous things we do. I've seen different videos of workers, some saluting the governors, some, doing as if they are servants in the presence of this governor. And I ask myself, is it the same governors that are owing you salaries? Is it the same governors that are finding it difficult to pay you, the needed amount you are meant to take home as workers? Is it the same governors, that has left the country, in this state that we are? Is it the same president that have not been doing the needful for you guys to live, the better life that you want? Well, it is what it is. I think the colonialist mindset still lives with us, Even the people that brought this idea of Workers' Day to us, they just celebrate it, identify, celebrate the workers. You don't have to close business because a lot of people are of the opinion that we have, a lot of days that we close our offices in the name of celebrating one thing or the other. But it is what it is. If we have chosen to say we want to close our offices on a particular day to celebrate the workers, beyond just celebrating the day, beyond just commemorating the day, what are we putting in place to celebrate the welfare of these workers? Let me give you an instance. Part of this workforce, we have the teachers, we have doctors, we have both in the corporate world and those ones in the private sectors. We have Nigerian Union of Tailors, we have all those unions. We have a lot of people in the workforce. How well have we truly taken care of their welfare? I think paying attention to the welfare of workers should not be just a May Day celebration. It should be something we do all year round. We have the police in the workforce. They are working for the betterment of Nigeria. We have a lot of people in the sector. We have nurses. We have different sectors of economy. How well are we taking care of their welfare? In 365 days out of 366, that we only choose a day to celebrate them. So these are things that we need to think about. And I think also the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress need to, step up their game. They should not just become relevant when they want to negotiate minimum wage. In the elementary government that we learn in secondary school, part of the, what do you call them now? There is a name, you tag them up. I remember the name a while ago. pressure group. Yeah. As a pressure group, your demand should not only be when you want new minimum wage. You are a pressure group to make sure that the government do the right thing. When the government is going against the norms, when the judiciary is not doing the needful, because one day, you as the NLC will need the judiciary. But if the system has been bastardized, what will become of it? But what has become of our NLC in recent years? We only see them when they want a new minimum wage. And the moment they want a new minimum wage, and they toast them, politicians know how to toast them here and there. The next thing you see them, they begin to sing on your mandate. So I think the NLC need to get serious. They need to up their game. It is not just about May Day alone. What has happened to the welfare of our staff, of our workforce over the year? Go to our hospitals. A particular medical doctor, I've said it on this show a couple of times. There was a day I had to take my child to the hospital, and I pity for the doctor on duty. She alone, or maybe two of them, handling over close to 30 children. You know how difficult it is for a single person to talk to a child who cannot say, yes, I have a headache. Oh, my body is paining me. No, they can't. You have to start, I pitied for that woman. Coupled with some parents who have this nonchalant attitude. Now, look at the ratio of teachers to students in our schools. What is the ratio? Look at schools without facilities. Look at government offices. I went to a particular government office in this state one day. In the government secretariat, I was pressed. I wanted to use the restroom. The ministry doesn't have restroom. I had to run to, the office of the governor to go and do the major that I wanted to do that day. You see how ridiculous? These are part of the things that should be there. You go to government office today, many of them are running on private generators. No electricity. How you want them to? These are part of the little things. Will the governor sit down in his office without electricity? Will the governor sit down in his office without good internet? How well do we provide all this? See, these are basic things.
Absolutely.
That should be in place for these people. But how many of them? You get to some hospitals, you discover that even some doctors buy some kits for themselves.
Absolutely. All right, Mr. Alabi. Now, one of the major demands the NLC made, fresh demand they made during the Workers' Day celebration is the extension of retirement age for workers. Before now, retirement age for workers is 60 years or 35 years in service. Now, the NLC, they are demanding for an extension from 60 years to 65 years or 40 years of service. So they are seeking additional 5 years to the retirement age and also to the number of years one can serve in the public service. What do you think of that? Do you really think this is a necessary demand at this point? Or what's the motive behind it? Asking for an extension.
Well, that's the question I'm about to ask you. What's their purpose of asking for an extension? What difference does it make? Even people that get retired at age 60, how well do they get their remunerations, their pensions? We have people who have served in our military, protesting every now and then. Our pension. You have the ones they will say contributory pension, there's also and so pensioners. How many of them get their gratuity and pensions at the same time? We have people who have retired from the National Control Center, one of our power generators, who are yet to get their remuneration for years, close to 10 years. What is the essence? What is the essence of people who still work till age 65 and they are not getting good pay? Daniel Tope, there are people who earn ridiculous amount of money in Nigeria. Money that cannot take them to the gate of their office, not to talk of taking them home. So what's the extension for?
Okay, let's look at the essence. Let's
they
want
something similar to what the professors, what the medical. These are people who a professor might be lucky, maybe at age 65 or thereabout, get an international funding. A doctor might be lucky and gets, but what does a teacher get?
Your reward is in heaven.
That is a ridiculous statement. Why is it that politicians reward
get their rewards here?
Why is it that politicians get it? I know the ridiculous thing. Go and check. These politicians know how to serve themselves the best of the meal. The social percentage of basic salary after retirement, they give themselves SUV. At the end of retirement, they do medical whatever for themselves anywhere they want in the world. They go on vacations on taxpayers' money. But people who work day and night, civil servants who work, workers who work every day to make sure that the economy runs. Let all the workers go, man. Let's see how the governor wants to run the state or see how the president wants to run the country. But these people, when they retire, it is their pension that ridiculous. The last administration in Osun, they always make, till they left the state. I'm mentioning them because the two excuses they always have till they left the administration was COVID-19 and then SARS. Like that thing happened alone in Osun State. Ridiculous statement. And if you ask them their own money, when you ask them, did COVID-19 affect your own money? Daniel, Toby, ask politicians this question. When they ask you there is no money to pay civil servants, have you ever seen politicians protest that they don't pay their salary? That's when Nigerians should have sense. They know how to serve themselves. So for all these unnecessary demands by the NSC, they should get serious for once. They should stop being political. They should stop playing games with the lives of their members. Get serious for once.
Mr. Alabi, I wanted to ask you about the second, part, the second part of the question. It's not just extension of retirement age from 60 to 65. Let's just look at the years of service now. How about extension from 35 to 40 years? Because some people will argue that some actually get into public service, into civil service at a very early age. For instance, if someone gets into civil service at the age of 20, which means they can still work. After 35 years, they are just 55. So what if they extend it by another 5 years, saying they cannot work 40 years before they retire?
Well, what happens to you retiring early and enjoy your job? Is it that?
Mr. Like, what if some people just love their jobs? I mean, they don't want to go. They feel they're going to die if they retire. How about that?
It is just self-deceit. Go home and rest. Both government work, private sector work will use the better days of your life. And that's why go to our hospitals. Who are the people you see there? Civil servants, people who have worked in the public service, who have worked, they have these ailments, one or the other. And at that age, in some saner society, they are placed on free medical care. But in Nigeria, nobody cares about you. So if Nigeria doesn't care about you, care about yourself. If you have the opportunity to retire, for people like me, if I have the opportunity, I've built what I can build by age 40, 45, 50, I want to retire. Yes, if you have invested so much that money comes in for you at age 45, 50, retire. There is nothing beautiful about you waking up early in the morning. You say, I'm rushing to the office. Especially people who live in places like Lagos. In Osogbo here, you are still lucky. I don't know where your office is located. You have to drive 1 hour.
Absolutely.
People who live in Lagos, I see them as they are living half life. Because if you work on the island and you stay in Okorodu, latest by 4 a.m. you must leave your house. And most times you don't get back home by 10 p.m. So what's the essence of it? So is that why you are looking for an extension? Is it because of the money or because you really love your body? I don't believe it.
What if it is love for the nation?
I don't believe it is. Go early so that other people can come in also. We are producing graduates every year. We are producing. And it is, it is the mindset of the politician. That's why you see them from local government chairman, they become House of Assembly member. Then one of the strongest of them becomes the governor. Then once he's done with the 8 years, he puts one of his protege as a governor. Then from there, he moves to the Senate to go and be sleeping inside AC. Many of them don't have any. Many of them don't know how to even read the bill.
All right. Let's talk about another key demand. It's the NLC also asked for an upward review of the minimum wage.
They are not serious.
How logical is that?
They are not
seeing as only about 13, you said 13 states yesterday have only implemented, that.
NLC under Joe Ajaero are a bunch of jokers.
Why would you say that?
Thank you very much. People like Dr. Paul Alaji, Kalu Aja, Professor, this professor from OAU, his name missed me now, Professor Tunji Ogunyemi. While NSC was busy with their negotiation earlier on, they gave them options. NLC, if you are taking anything at this time, don't take below this amount. Actually, they mentioned it. The 500,000 you are requesting for is ridiculous. I also said it. No government will pay you 500,000 minimum wage. We want hyperinflation. It will be ridiculous. But with the current inflation rate and the economy reality, don't take anything below 100,000 naira. Don't take anything below this so amount of money. But they went for a meeting over the night. I know the funniest thing, when they want to do evil things in Nigeria, it is always over the night. I don't want to mention things. You remember INEC also announced the result of the election, 4 a.m. They went over the night, they had a meeting. And in the morning, they began to sing on your mandate, we shall stand. Ridiculous things. And they accepted 70,000 naira. Do you know even the federal government, I'm not sure they are yet to pay the 70,000. It is only the NYSC they started with.
Yeah, the last time I checked, even the FCT have not started.
They've not paid. And
the last time I checked.
The beautiful thing about the president is that it knows how to use the instrument of propaganda. Oh, no, your governors are the ones not paying. He puts many governors to go and say, even the governors. See, I've always been of opinion that not all states in Nigeria can pay the same amount as minimum wage. It's part of the federalism we're asking for. Osun State doesn't generate this. Lagos State is raking in money. Lagos can afford to pay 200,000 minimum wage.
Absolutely.
Osun, Zamfara cannot afford to pay 100,000 minimum wage. There are some states, Akwa Ibom can say we can pay 150,000 naira. They have the money.
Delta Rivers
can pay. Edo can say we want to pay. They generate the IGR. State like Ebonyi cannot pay it. How much are they generating? How much is Osun generating? How much is Ekiti generating? You want Ekiti to go and pay 100,000 naira? I'm sorry. That's just the reality. Even in the United Kingdom, in the United States, that we copy from. California is not paying the same amount as Nevada. New York is not paying the same amount as Connecticut. They are two. You pay by your power. But the NSC in their wisdom says no. We have accepted 70,000 or how much did they accept? 70. On the condition that the federal government will not increase the fuel money. Immediately after that, the fuel money went up again. It shows they are not wise.
No. Now that you said it's on the condition that fuel price will not increase. So it is not NLC's fault that fuel price
NLC's fault.
How do you mean?
When you go to the negotiation table, you go from your area of strength. You know, Nigerian politicians over the years, see, it is just bad that the NLC are not good students of history. I think they should go back to the classroom, learn some history. Go and check successive administration in Nigeria. Go and check. They'll tell you this, and next time they come back, oh no, paucity of fund. You know, they know all this grammar to use very well. The federal government is trying, but there is paucity of fund. The crude oil price in the world has come down. Are we the only one selling crude oil? Are we the only one? Is it only Nigeria that is economy? There is economy downtown. One economist have said it. It is not a crime for your economy to nosedive. It is being run by humans. But it becomes a crime when you sit down in there. Under Obama's administration, America's economy experienced downtown now. But what did they do? They looked around. What do we need to do to galvanize the economy? But in Nigeria, we have people who lack ideas. That is why somebody will sit down in Abuja and be judging that 1,500 can feed you per meal. Okpa Fashiwa, the essay to the president, I held him on a group that we belong together. So you will not sit down in FCT. You said healthcare is free in Nigeria. Don't sit down in Abuja and tell me that. Come to Oshote, go to Ayedire local government, go to Ile-Ogbo, go to Obagba. Those people there, the permanent care center there, how many of them can they say they go there and they see malaria medications? How many of them would they go and they say, okay, do you know that in some states there are permanent care center that doesn't have electricity supply? If local government offices are being disconnected from the electricity supply, talking about. So we should get serious for once. NSA should get serious. If you are looking for something that will take you guys home, then you should weigh your opinions. But many of them have become tools in the hands of political office holders. Many of them.
But Mr. Alabi,
politicians buy SUVs for them. Give them security. So when they get to the negotiation table, you cannot say the truth.
Oh, but Mr. Alabi, the economic hardship is really biting hard on people.
It's not really biting hard.
No. So
it
for
is
the
not,
NLC to have
Daniel,
requested for a review.
repeat, economic hardship is not biting hard on none of us.
How do you mean?
Thank you. If you go on the street now, somebody was telling me yesterday that a particular person is calling him, oh, please, I want to come and appear on your political show. I want to let people know that immediately a Yoruba man is in power, the Northerners want to bring in Boko Haram. That is why they are trying to. You know, somebody ridiculously was saying it on a TV interview that the hardship that is currently in Nigeria is not because of Tinubu, that they should go and handle Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, that they are the ones. That's why I said people are not hungry. And if you look at people that say these things, they look very, very well fed, quote and unquote. So hardship is not biting hard. I'm not joking. We are here speaking grammars now.
If you say it's not biting, let me give you. Okay,
how freshly.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Alabi. Let me give you a personal example now. If you say it's not biting hard,
it's not biting at all. But I've not eaten this morning.
In 2019, in 2019,
yes.
The food inflation wasn't like this. In 2019, as a single bachelor, the cost of feeding, what I spend on feeding, this is quite personal. I spent 100,000 naira a month on feeding. That was 2019. Hold on, that was 2019. 100,000 on feeding alone, just food alone. 100,000 naira. Mr. Alabi, today, this is 2025. 100,000 naira cannot pay for my feeding alone. Not to talk of other bills. And you're saying the economy is not biting hard?
Well, one of the things the followers of the current president will tell you is that must you eat? You know, when you tell them, I remember one of them was saying, when somebody complained that there is no electricity, he said, what do you need electricity for? So Daniel, I'm asking you, must you eat? Can't you fast? Must you eat 3 times a day? If you are eating 3 times in 2019, why don't you just stick to 1? Do it 001.
No, I gave you that analogy.
So that
I gave you that analogy to show you that the economy is really, hard on Nigeria.
Now, somebody said something to me. You know why I said nothing is biting us hard? He said Nigerians, we know how to adjust.
So how do they adjust to food inflation?
Hold on now. We know how to adjust very well. And you know, we know how to pray some ridiculous prayer. Me, for one, I don't pray for any leader in Nigeria. It's not possible. I wake up in the middle of the night and I start praying for somebody who went to pay for a school fee of a child who is not even birthed yet. Then I'm mad. I won't pay for a leader who believes he should get new aircraft, get new SUV at the expense of citizens. I won't. He said Nigerians know how to adjust because when we go to church on Sunday, this admission may favor me and my family. And it's not favoring us. That's the reality. We deceive ourselves a lot.
So Mr. Alabi, if the NLC, if according to you, if in your own opinion, they are making, frivolous or unnecessary demands, the question is, at this time, looking at the situation of things, inflation is real. Let's be sincere.
It's not real.
So what should
we are doing rebates now? Maybe we are doing.
Should they have pushed forward more, improved workers' welfare on addressing economic hardship, as against extension of retirement age and upward review?
Now you are getting the point. Push for. You are a pressure group for crying out loud. When governments are busy making terrible policies, speak out. Make demands. But NLC will come today. If the federal government doesn't do this, we are going to protest. And you protest one day. He said, we are suspending the protest again because we went to Aso Rock. I don't know if there is a particular air condition inside our place that they blow on their head that they've never experienced before. And they come back, they say one nonsense or the other, and that's the end of the day. If the economy doesn't work right, no matter, even if you earn 500,000 naira, it won't take you home. See, forget all this joke I'm cracking that economy is not biting hard. It's truly biting hard. Somebody said, you are not spending too much. Basic things are just expensive.
Absolutely.
We've lived in this country where we buy bread for 5 naira, 7 naira now. A crate of egg, when I was running my dad's poultry, back then when I was in the secondary school, we sold the crate for 300 naira. That 300 naira will buy you only 1 egg today. And you know, when you go to the hospital, they will tell you an egg per day takes the doctor away. But that means if you want to eat 1 egg per day, you alone, as Daniel, that means you eat 30 in a day. 6,500 or 6,000 naira or 5,500 naira. You have a wife, Tokwe will eat 1 egg per day. That's 2 crates. Now you now have a child that must eat 1 egg per day too. That's 3 crates in a day, in a month. So tell me, how does your 70,000 take you home? How does it? How much do you buy a quarter bag of rice if you cannot buy a bag? How much do you sell 2 bags of yam? I was jokingly telling someone that the yam I took to my in-laws' house when I wanted to get married, it was 10,000 naira yam. And I had
10,000
naira yam.
How many tubers?
More than close to 100 tubers. Yes.
You bought them?
Yeah, we bought them. 10,000 naira yam.
Did you get married 50 years ago?
No. But how many years back now? I was just with 5 years in marriage.
Really? That's what I'm saying. I compared 2019. That's what I'm saying.
So what am I trying to say? The economy reality is biting at. If you sum all this thing up, if you use a 2003 Corolla car in a month, if you are the type that doesn't move so much like that, you use average of close to 100,000 naira fuel in a month, and you earn 70,000 naira. How do you break even? So the NLC for me should be demanding for favorable economy policy. If the federal government is appropriating and reprobating, or we want to implement the Orasai report, the same you that want to implement the Orasai report, you are creating more ministry. All your boys, you are creating offices for them.
Let me hold you there, Mr. Ladiji. All right, dear viewer, we'll be taking this quick breather. We've been talking about the NLC's fresh demands. When we get back, it will be more discussion. Stay with us.